It's about more really than just that one incident of the wet or dirty pants. We want to set a pattern of behavior with the children that they know when they're feeling vulnerable, when they have to tell us about a problem that they have, one that is of their own making, that they can come to you, and rather than judging or shaming, you're going to greet them with a mindset that we're going to get through this together. We're going to think about solutions and not beat each other up over the problem. Hi, welcome to Miss Julie's Montessori Minutes. I'm Miss Julie, here with another tip for you about helping your child learn to use the toilet. I want you to imagine that you've been camping with some friends and you've been going from one part of the campground to another by crossing this log bridge. And you've been going across every day with some success. But one day you slip, fall into the creek, and you're soaking wet. And so you get yourself out of the creek, you go to your friends and you say, I fell in the creek. And they immediately say to you, well, what'd you do that for? Why weren't you more careful? Why didn't you walk slower? Why didn't you tell me sooner so I could have helped guide you across? What's wrong with you? Why don't you know better? You've crossed it before. That would be pretty ridiculous. Now imagine you're a toddler and you've been using the toilet with some success. And you wet yourself or soil yourself and you go to the adult and say, I'm wet. And the adult says, well, how'd that happen? You know better, you've been using it all day. Or, okay, well, I guess we have to go change you. Why didn't you tell me sooner and we could have gotten to the toilet? Imagine how the child would feel. Pretty bad, right? When a child wets or soils themselves, that child is in a rather vulnerable situation. They're physically uncomfortable. They might be feeling a little emotionally uncomfortable. They're inconvenienced that they have to stop what they're doing to change themselves. And so they're presenting themselves to the adult who they love, and it is up to us to respond in a way that doesn't make them feel ashamed of what has happened in this very natural process. They need an adult who will greet them without judgment and will treat these dirty pants as they would any other hygiene situation, like a dirty face or a runny nose, and that won't make them feel ashamed or embarrassed, won't send the message that they're highly inconvenienced to have to tend to this situation. They need an adult that trusts that the child is doing the best that they can at that moment. Maybe they've done better in the past. Certainly, they will do better in the future. When they're in that vulnerable state, they need to be reassured that they can trust us with their problems and that we are a person they can come to who is worthy of that trust, who will greet that little problem with a solution and forward thinking rather than reliving the past times that they've soiled or reliving the past times when they've been successful. Someday, when they're older, perhaps as a teenager, they're going to be feeling vulnerable. They're going to need to come to an adult, and we set precedents for those future relationships right now. It is frustrating, I know. So it can help to come up with some phrases in advance. So if you can make a plan for yourself of how you'll react, it can become a good habit. So I'm just going to give you a few suggestions, and of course you'll tweak them for words that fit your own personality and that feel natural to you. First of all, we're very grateful that a child has told us they've had an accident because it is good for their physical health to get clean right away. It's an indication that they are aware, because they're wearing cloth, that they're getting that message that when they release their sphincters, there will be wetness or there will be soiled pants. So we're very grateful that they told us. I hope you can muster that sincerity in the moment of gladness that they told you about it, that they didn't go, hiding in the closet and making a bigger mess, for example. Here in my Montessori toddler classroom, when the children tell us that they have soiled themselves, we say, thank you for telling me. Not over the top, like it's the most exciting news we've ever got, but just natural because we really mean it. Thanks for telling me. And we might add something like, now we can get you some dry clothes and you'll feel so much more comfortable. But you could say, oh, okay, well, you know where to put the wet clothes. Or, okay, well, you have plenty of dry underwear. So that's positively reinforcing their desire to become dry and their willingness to share with the adult that they've had an accident. So just any combination of words that shows that you understand it's a natural, normal thing to happen, that you're there to provide any support they need to get themselves clean, and just keeping everything matter of fact like it's any other kind of messy situation. Because if the child were made to feel ashamed, they're less likely to want to tell us in the future, which could lead to them wanting to hold it in, or running to hide when they have to urinate, or hiding once it's happened, which can, be very bad for their skin. All right, I hope you found this helpful. It'll be very reassuring to your child when they know that they can come to you, you've got their back, you're going to help them through this little process. And I hope it's helpful to you to just kind of think in advance of what you will say, so that when you're caught at times when you're feeling exasperated, you're feeling tired, it will just, with practice, become natural for you to let those positive phrases flow out of your mouth. All right, if you found this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up.